quickly too, I'm recording this, so everybody know that I'm just recording this so that those people who cannot make it can at least go back and look at this later on.
All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Did I get thumbs up there? All righty, I'll do a quick overview of a few things, but then mostly what we did the first time is there were a ton of questions. So if you have any questions, if you could please type them into the chat. And if you don't know how to use the chat, speak up right now so we can tell you. It's just on the bottom there, you click on chat and then you turn into everyone. And then, so with the chat, if you put in your questions there, and Michelle will let me know as they come in and so I can answer them. So with the Google Classroom, one of the main issues we've had with students not being able to log in is that the parents or the student is not logging into the Chromebook with their EESD account, with their username and password, that the same that they use in school. So if they're having issues getting in to Google Classroom, that's one of the first things that you want to check, is that they're logging in to the actual Chromebook with their username and password from their EESD account. So on my classroom here, if you go to the settings cog, if you're looking at the settings cog along with me, I will open it up, and there's some settings that you want to check out. Class details, class name is required. Nothing else is required there. There's a class code if you need to add anybody in manually. Just know if you add them in manually, they may not be automatically kept in the classroom when it's resynced. But if you need to, there's a class code under the settings, and you can hit display. It'll make it very large for that student to see. The stream is important. It says that only teachers can post or comment. That's where my setting is right now. If you want, during the classroom time, that's a normal setting to have it at. But with online, with the distance learning that we're having to do, if you want students to comment while you're doing a lesson with them in Google Classroom, you may want to leave on the students can only comment. That way, if they have questions, they can type them in rather than having them all trying to do something at once or not able to communicate at all. So recommendation would be students can only comment. There's also students can post and comment. You may not want to do that because posting means they can post videos and other things as well.
How do I cook it?
Okay.
Wait, so Mark, I have a question about that.
Yes.
Hi, by the way. So could they post comments to each other that I couldn't see?
They can post, no, when they're posting on the stream, is my understanding, and so you will see their comments. And you can also mute certain students if you want to do that. You can have it just so certain students are not able to comment.
I just want to make sure I can see all the comments. It's not like on Zoom right now, I can have a private conversation with someone, right?
Right, no.
On Google Classroom, they can't have those private conversations with each other that I can't see, right?
That's to my understanding. Maybe Kristin or Michelle or Jenny know something different. But
Yeah, no, they cannot have private conversation. It's streamed for everybody to see.
Okay, thanks, Kristin.
Yep.
And then on classwork on the stream, I usually do show condensed notifications. It's just short. It doesn't add all the details to it. So that's usually the setting that they have it in.
I don't understand what's talking about. Oh.
Go ahead. And I'm going to skip down to Guardian summaries.
I don't know how.
If you turn on the Guardian summaries, then Guardians receive a summary of their students' work and class announcements.
Ooh.
So you can add a class to that if you like.
Guardian summaries.
Okay. And then for grading section, Google Classroom now comes with a gradebook. And if you want students to see their overall grades, you would click it to either total points or weighted by category. For our situation, I think that total points would be best just so they can gauge how they're doing. And then if you want your students to be able to see their overall grade, you click this button down here. After you click on total points, you click on the green button, okay? Are there any questions? Do we have thumbs up on that?
I have a question. This is Kristin Sachs.
Hi, Kristin.
Hi. I can't hear you very well, and
Okay, is that better if I lean in a bit?
Oh, yeah, that's better. I didn't know.
All right, sorry about that.
That's okay. I left the meeting to try to fix the volume on my computer, but it's not.
Okay, I'll lean in.
Okay,
It's
thank
like
you.
a fireside chat.
Thank you.
Okay, did you have any questions about the grading or settings?
No.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for letting me know about that. I appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
Hey, Mark, are you checking chat?
I am not.
I'm reading through chat right now.
Okay.
So
And he
as
is
Mark
too.
goes through, again, if you have questions about what he's doing specifically right now, feel free to ask. But I am literally going through chat as he's talking and filtering so I can ask those questions.
Do we have quite a few questions, Kristin? Because we can start right up with the questions in chat.
No worries. Why don't you go to people first? Did you do?
Okay,
do
I have
people
not.
as I continue to go through chat.
Okay, so we just did settings. Now we're going to move over to people. And do something first. Okay, so some of you are deciding to team up on Google Classroom. And if you want to add somebody to your Google Classroom, what you're allowing them to do is to add assignments to that Google Classroom, but it won't necessarily go out to, this Google Classroom only has my students. And if I add Kristin as a teacher, this is how I do it. I go over to teachers. There's a little person with a plus sign, invite teachers. And I put in her email. Invite. And now Kristin is a co-teacher on my Google Classroom, which means she can post assignments that my students would see. If Kristin wanted her students to see it, she would have to post it on that assignment on her classroom also. Okay. Now we're going to go to, so if you're collaborating with a
Mark,
teacher,
This
just,
is Edith
yes,
Fisher. May I ask a question about that?
yes, please.
Okay, that made sense to me. I just wanted, I'm sharing with the four of us are sharing, and right now it's on Lorette's, and we're working on Lorette's computer because we hadn't figured out how to share it to our computer. So are you saying that if I went on my Chromebook and I hit that little icon and I put her email address, then I could put it in onto, it would show up on my Google Classroom?
For all of you, I would do that with all of you. I would add all, what is it, 4 of you? 3 of you?
Yeah.
I would as you, Edith, I would go in and add your rest of your team onto your as co-teachers, and I would have them add everybody else as co-teachers. So yes.
Okay. And then it would show up on all of our Google Classroom.
Correct.
That's our biggest question. I feel so much better. We've been struggling with that. Like, how do we move it?
Merry Christmas.
Yay. We're all unmute now. Friends, I miss you.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to students now underneath. And for students, there's the big thing about this would be to email all guardians, invite the guardians. And you can email your students here. When you start with inviting guardians, you're going to click on, this is for Betty, invite her guardian. You'd have to begin with, you have to insert each guardian's email individually per student. But after that, you'll be able to, once the guardians are in, you'll be able to email all guardians. This button would turn on. And so you can email all guardians at once if you have a message that you want to send out to your parents. Is there anything to add to that, Kristin, Michelle?
No, but did you show how to mute?
I have not showed how to mute a student yet. So if a student, like we'll say Jenny here, if she's posting things that are not helpful, I'll actually have to go, let me go back, sorry. So on here, I'm going to choose Jenny. I'm going to go to actions. And if I have the students able to chat, to comment on Google Classroom, but Jenny's doing some things that she's posting way too much, writing a novel on there, I may want to mute her. And here it says muted students can still submit their work. They will not be able to reply to classmates' work, and they will not be able to comment or post. So if you mute that person, those actions will take place. Does that make sense?
I have a question, Mark. This is Nancy.
Yes.
When we're back to putting in those emails, the individual emails the first time, is there a save button, or as soon as we do it, are they saved?
As soon as you do it, they are saved.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that might help with the issue that we were working on.
Oh, yeah.
Once everybody's in Google Classroom.
Okay.
I have another question going
Yes.
back one step. Earlier on on settings, you said you can switch for guardians to get a summary of the work that their students had done. Does that require inputting each of their emails?
It would be, yes, so it knows where to go. Because it goes to guardian email, it's guardian email summary. So you have to have the guardian emails in order for those summaries to work.
And with that, just to let you know, is when you go in and input your guardian emails, yes, it may be a little cumbersome, especially at the beginning. Luckily, us K-5 teachers have 30 to 32 emails we would have to input at the most. So yes, it's a little cumbersome, but I would definitely suggest you putting in your parent emails into Google Classroom, because that way, especially K-5, it allows those parents to see whenever assignments are being posted or anything that you ever post, parents get it as well, so that the students can't come up with excuses of, I didn't get it. Well, the parents will be able to see it as well. So I would suggest putting in parent emails within Google Classroom.
Kristin, is there any way that those can be uploaded from Powerschool?
No. Powerschool and Google do not get along, which is also, by the way, going to one of the questions. I'm writing down all the questions, but going with this, Kayla asked is, can we get Google Classroom grades and assignments to be linked to Powerschool? No. Powerschool and Google do not speak well to each other. So unfortunately, no.
Kristin, what if we have multiple, if we're multiple subjects and we're doing 100 kids, say Kayla and I have the same kids and she's already inputted her homeroom emails, will that automatically go to my Google Classroom, or do I have to do all 100?
Sorry.
I have to do all 100 emails?
Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, right now, because you cannot easily upload from Powerschool the parent. The only other option, honestly, if you want to email your parents, not necessarily have them get notifications for Google Classroom. Earlier, we sent you guys a link on how to email parents from Powerschool. You can email your parents from Powerschool, but I would still go in and tie it to Google Classroom, because then they get those notifications and you can bypass emailing because you're sending out assignments, and as soon as you do, parents get those notifications. So unfortunately, Early Dawn, I'm sorry, that unfortunately is the way it is.
So Kristin, this is Kayla. There is no way to just do that mass email to parents via Powerschool and like give them a link
No.
to do the same thing. We'd have to input. Okay.
You have to physically, Mark, can you go over to people? You have to physically go into that people section right there, and where it says invite guardians, you have to physically go and do that. But once it's there, it's there. So sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's how I set up my contacts in my email originally.
Right.
Question,
that.
if we're inviting guardians, are we then waiting for them to accept that invitation so they receive these summaries when we post in Classroom?
So, Mark, I'm taking over.
Yep. Okay, let me stop.
I already did it. So let me show you what it looks like. So this is, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what it looks like. I made this Google Classroom at the beginning of the school year 1920. Granted, it's the wrong email address because it says YMail, but it does tell you that you have invited them.
Zoom your screen a little bit.
I'm sorry, what?
Zoom your screen a little bit. It's really small and hard to read.
Is that better?
That's better.
Awesome. So as you can see, it's invited. You can re-push it out and re-invite them to make sure they get that notice. So you can see which one of your parents have already accepted. So I am the parent of Chromebook login, but Jenny has not accepted the parent as the parent from Mark yet. So you can go in and see who has accepted and who has not. So great questions.
I may have missed it. Can you do more than one guardian per one student?
Oh, I don't think I covered that. No. So that is another thing there, because when you have families who are sharing custody, that is an issue. So that is an issue I'm sure that they are working on.
I have found that making my own Google contact list by ripping the emails off of the Powerschool link that you guys gave us has been immensely helpful, because I now have contacts for kids that says Lily see mom, Lily see dad, so that I'm emailing all of them, because I have 7 different parents that have multiple emails.
Right. Wow. Wow,
Yep.
That's a lot. That's crazy. Are you able to put more than one email in that spot?
No, I thought I could, and I did in Gmail contacts, and then I just found out today from 3 parents that the other parent wasn't getting the emails. So I had to go in and actually make 2 contacts for every kid that had multiple emails. So that's why I have like Lily see mom and Lily see dad.
Ah.
That's the way my Google contacts are too, which is why I was wondering if I could do that in Classroom or not.
That's a great idea. I guess that's your workaround. That's actually a really great idea. A couple quick questions. Let's see. One question was getting alerts. They want to be shown how to do alerts again. I'm going to go out to my Google Classes. I'm going to go back a little bit so it's not so big. I'm going to go back out. And so for those of you who want to know how to get alerts or how to turn off alerts, if you go to the 3 lines and scroll all the way down to settings, from here, here's all of your notifications, and you can turn on and off whatever you want to, what notifications you want. So I can't remember who asked that question. Shout out to whoever asked that question. Great question.
That was Amy Howland. And can you show me that one more time?
Absolutely, friend. Okay, so if I'm out here in my classes, my overview of my classes, if I go to the 3 lines.
Okay. Okay.
So then
Got it.
go from
Classic.
here and let's go all the way down to settings. And again, these are the settings for all your Google Classroom, for everything, not just for one class, for everything.
Hi, can I interrupt? I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
Okay. I have a kindergarten, are you muted? HR 1128-293. And then I have another one. Are you unmuted? EXT Day Kindergarten 293. Is one of them correct?
Are these username and passwords?
No, they're Google Classrooms.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Can you tell me the names of them again? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Maybe type them in chat and then somebody can confirm for you.
Okay,
later.
I'll type them in chat.
Perfect. Thank you. Another quick question that somebody was asking is emailing parents, which is the best way, PowerSchool versus Google Classroom. Honestly, I think if you're just emailing your parents, maybe giving them information, I would use PowerSchool. If you're talking about assignments, I would definitely use Google Classroom.
Thank you.
Kristin, I have a question.
Absolutely.
So back to what Catherine was saying, in kindergarten, when we pull up our Google Classroom, it shows 3 different classrooms. Do we need to archive the other 2?
No, they should, one of them, you can if you want to. Yeah, that's all up to you.
So I use the first box.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's definitely fine.
And then the other 2 are just there.
Yes. So basically, just for your guys' knowledge, what you should have for your Google Classrooms is you should literally have a Google Classroom for each subject matter. So if you see it, what you'll see is a Google Classroom for, I believe it's for each subject matter, math, language arts, and so on. So that's why you may see multiple classrooms.
Okay, is it okay if I just use one classroom to build kindergarten lessons?
Especially kindergarten. I would not use, I wouldn't use more than one with kindergarten, for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm trying to pull up my chat feature again. Let's see. All right, and let's see, questions. Oh, let's talk about pushing out assignments. I want to talk about pushing out assignments because I see that Dale has a couple good questions about that. Again, if I don't get to your question, I do apologize. I will be going through the chat afterwards and answering your questions, and I'll probably be emailing you afterwards anyways. So assignments, let me move this out of my way a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go under classwork. So one of the things that we suggest you do with your assignments is when you create assignments, in the create button, there's something down here called topic. Normally when we're physically at school, we have teachers put in topics based upon the topic they're teaching. Revolutionary War, World War II. So whatever topic they're teaching in the classroom is how they make their Google Classroom. But now that things have switched over to remote learning, we are encouraging our teachers to make topics based on weeks. I think it will be a lot easier for our parents and our students to monitor Google Classroom, look at what assignments are done if we do it all based on weeks. So as you're making your topics, go into create and click on topic, and this is what pulls up. And basically what topics are just a way to organize your assignments based on whatever you're doing for the week or whatever subject matter you're teaching. So I can do week of May, I don't know, I'm gonna make up something, May 5th. So that as I make my topic and any assignments that go under week of May 5th, my families, as they're going into Google Classroom, it's a lot easier for them to organize or see the organization of Classroom if we put it in weeks. Again, it'll be a lot easier for our families and our students if we put in topics based on week. So once I've created a topic of a week of May 5th, I can go up here and I can hit create. Now, with all of these, I'm going to go over these with you real quickly. Assignment, I'm going to go over assignment in just a second, so I'll come back to it. Assignment is where you will literally spend 99% of your time, I'm sure, except for the middle school teachers, in assignments. And again, I'm going to go over that in just a second. Kami assignment, this is an extension. This is a great resource. Actually, Kayla, I want to speak to you about possibly doing some Kami training. So I'm going to come email you at one point, Kayla. Quiz assignment. A quiz assignment is your Google Forms. So if you click on this quiz assignment, what it will do, it will bring out a brand new Google form, and it will allow you to make a quiz using Google Forms. Now remember, with the update of Google Forms within Google Classroom, you can push out a form to your students and it will lock down all tabs for the Chromebook or the device they are on. What that means is this: as you push out your form and your kids go in and open it up, their entire Chromebook locks down. They cannot open up any other screen, any other tabs or anything to go search for the answer. All they have is that form on their screen.
Can I ask a question right there, Kristin?
Absolutely.
So do I have to create the quiz right here in Google Classroom, or do I click quiz assignment and then put in a form I've already made?
You can do both. It works the same exact way. Personally,
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Can we use that as a way to take roll for kindergarten? Like if they answer the question for that day?
I have another way to do that. If you do it just via question, not as a quiz, and you just ask a question, it'll tell them if they've turned it in or not. That's what I'm going to do for my 7th graders.
Who said that? Kayla?
Yeah, Kayla.
That's a great idea, because
and I'm not even doing something math related. I'm just putting a slide with all of my links for the day, and my kids are just going to answer a this or that question, like, would you rather be Batman or Superman? And they just send me an answer, or which one doesn't belong, and they send me an answer, and then I know that they've seen that day's work, and I put it in as due that day, so I know if they've seen it that day or if they did it later.
Brilliant.
Oh, good.
Brilliant. Can I steal that?
Yeah, do it. I shared it with the middle school team today too.
I think that's brilliant. I definitely want to share that, because we have been trying to grapple with how attendance should be done, but that's a great way right there, by question. But yes, you could do it as a quiz assignment too. So there's that way too through kindergarten. But interesting. I like that.
Hey, Kristin.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? It's Jenny.
Yes. Hi, Jenny.
Okay, I'm delayed on my country internet. Just a forewarning with the quiz assignment, if you have it as a locked quiz, students that are not on a EESD device cannot
access it.
So if they're on a device from home, it will not.
Sorry, Jenny has bad internet.
I'll type it out.
Wait, I hear you real quickly. So are you saying that if I'm Johnny and I'm on my mom and dad's device that I can't access the quiz?
If it's locked. If it's a normal quiz, you're fine. But if you make it a locked quiz, they cannot.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, thank you. I'm going to look into that just so that I know how to do that. Sweet. Any other questions real quickly before I move on besides quiz assignment? All right, question. What question is, and this is what Kayla said, is how she's going to take attendance. The question is just a way for you to post class discussions. You can post the question and the kids can go in there and answer the questions. And again, this is how Kayla is going to do attendance.
You can attach materials in there though too.
Right.
I attach a slide in that part.
Perfect. Great idea. Materials are really great for resources. If you want to send out how-tos, instructions, directions, anything like that, material is really good for all of your resources. Materials are good if it's not an assignment. So,
Can I chime in on that?
yes, please.
So I'm only chiming in because Lorette called me earlier today, and this is what I did going into our 3-week break. So I created a topic, and then I created a material, and I attached a Google Drive folder. That was the material that I attached. So I put in that Google Drive folder with access to anybody that had the link. They could get into anything I put in that folder. So everything I had printed in a packet, I just put within that folder, and they had access to it here in Google Classroom via that material link.
Perfect. What a brilliant idea. That's a great idea. That way, then all you had to do is put in, so I'm assuming you just went material, you added Drive. Oh, you created a folder in your Drive.
I created a folder in my Drive, and I changed the share settings of that folder to be anyone with the link can view it. And so then anything I put in that folder, I don't have to go to Google Classroom and change every time. I can just do it within my Drive and drop whatever I want to and organize whatever I want to within that folder, and they have access to it all.
Brilliant.
Is there a way that she can share her screen so we can see what she's saying?
Yeah, so I'm actually going in and doing it right now. Kayla, you want to share your screen? Can I move it all over to you?
Can I do that? I have not done screen sharing yet. How do I do that?
I believe I did it on the settings, so I can't remember if I opened it up. I believe I did. So I just stopped sharing. If you go down and click on share screen.
I don't have, oh, share. Okay, share desktop, I guess.
Yeah. You can choose, I think you're only on one tab.
Okay.
Yay.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay, I can't see you guys. Can you see my screen right now then?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so here, like this enrichment copies work. This is the topic that I made. And then the material that I made, so this is the actual material that I made. And I just put a link to my Google Drive resources in there, and I titled it, "This is all your hard copies of your work."
Can you show us what that looks like? I just click on it.
Yeah, so like here's my, oops, can I shrink that? Here's my topic. And this was the material, how she was showing you how you would create it. And then if I go into this, it just directly links them to a folder within my Google Drive. That my internet's super slow, so I'm surprised it's holding out. But so this is anything that I put in this folder, they have access to. So I just dump stuff in this folder. It's not organized right now, but because I started just doing weekly slides this week, I need to make a folder for that. But all of this, the kids have access to, and they can write on it with Cami and stuff like that. So I just put a topic, and then like I put a checklist in here. This is another document that I made that had, they could direct, I took the direct link off, but they could click what it was to be able to get to it as well.
Nice.
So I don't know. That was one.
Do you mind
In every single day.
While you have yours open, do you mind showing us what your attendance slide looks like that you said
Oh,
you're going to do?
Yeah. So that is, whoops. So in here, and this is what I was telling, the question I asked, I can't schedule stuff. I have to save it as a draft. So here's my assignment that I put in today. And when they answer it, it just shows me that here 2 people have turned it in today. So I know 2 people, all 2 people have gone in and seen it today. And then I can go in and see their responses too. So I can respond to them if I want to, and I can see who hasn't done it yet, and I can return it to them so that they know that I've seen their answer as well.
May I see what your slide looks like? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah.
Type on the slide?
No, this slide they don't. I just put, so the attendance question is fish or steak, and then I have them look at which one doesn't belong, if my internet will load it. Take out the trash. Apparently I threw that wrong version of that one away. But so they've got a which one doesn't belong, and then I directly link the material that I want them to access that day right here as well.
I see. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. What a great way to do attendance.
Where, I'm sorry, one more question before you go off there. Where
Uh-huh.
do then they respond to you? I mean, I'm looking at first
They
grade and, like,
respond in, oops, ooh, there we go. They respond right, they're on their side of it, they type something in. I can't see it as a student, but when you go and you create it, like when they are right here, there's like a little box for them to type in an answer.
You're on
So-
your face instead of your screen.
Oh.
So we can't see it anymore.
Hey, let me keep showing you my face. Okay, let me figure out how to get back there. I have too many tabs open. Oh.
While you're doing that, also
There you
for
go.
the attendance, if you go to if Kayla went to her grade book, it would show all the grades for that day, for that assignment in that day. And that would be a quick way to look at more students for the attendance.
Yeah, so you don't have to include a slide at all. I just wanted to streamline everything to where this is my Monday, and then on that slide is a link to anything that they would need for the day, just trying to have it in one spot. So that's also why it's one of my questions. If I don't put it in as an assignment, can they turn it into me another way? So that was another question that I had. But when I just type in a question here, they just have a little box that they type their answer in, and they just hit turn in, and it turns it in for them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm going to go back into my classroom because I still want to go over assignments because I'm seeing questions on there that people still want to go over how to do an assignment. So I want to make sure that I cover that. So that what we were just talking about was quiz assignments, questions, and we've talked about topics. But now I'm going to hop back into assignment. And this is where you're going to do a lot of your posting. Is assignments. So obviously within assignments you have your title. So I'm going to title it with instructions. You can use it or not, it's optional. Some teachers push the directions, what they require, whatever information they want under instructions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to where it says add. And from add, you literally can pull out anything from your Google Drive. You can send out links. So if there's specific articles you want your kids to read, specific website you want your kids to go on to, let's say you want your kids to go to RAS, you can push out RAS through this link. You can push out something with Common Lit, an article, whatever it is, you can do that through the link. File is if you are uploading something off of your PC. If you're on a PC, it will pull up whatever you are on your PC or your MacBook. It'll pull up your files from that device. If you are on a Chromebook, it'll most likely pull up your drive. So file, it changes depending on the type of device you are on. Next is YouTube. Now, we still have YouTube blocked. As of right now, YouTube is not going to be unblocked. The two features that we are, as of right now, not opening up is YouTube and printing. Those are the only two features as of right now that we are not opening up. So when it comes to YouTube, be creative. If you want to send out a YouTube link, perfect, you easily can. But you're going to have to take that link and put it into Play Pause It or Edpuzzle or download the video first before you can push it into Google Classroom, because we do not have YouTube open for students. So just want to make sure that that's clear. So with that, I'm going to go to Google Drive. I'm going to add an assignment. I'm going to click on my drive. First thing that pops up is always recent, which is great because that's the most recent thing that I have. I'm actually going to go into my drive and actually, no, I'm just going to pull from recent. I'll
Kristin,
bring in
can I
this.
interrupt for 1 second?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so I was just on the phone with my sister about 15 minutes ago, and because the kids can't print from their Chromebooks, one of the things as a parent that she's asked their teacher to do is if there's something that, like if you send out a schedule, like she likes to print out the week's schedule so they can have a hard copy and check off things. But if it goes through the Google Classroom, then you can't print it. So she's asking the teacher if the teacher would please email it,
So I just think we all need to be really aware that if we're sending something that might need to be printed, they're not able to print it from a Chromebook. I mean, it has to be really clear. So these resources that we're linking and whatnot, they can't actually get printed off. She worked around it. Like, she was able to, like, somehow, she's like, I logged in as myself, and then I logged him out, and I downloaded it, and then I logged him back in, and then logged him back out. Like, she made a workaround, but it was really difficult. So
I do know that we are pushing not to, unless you're doing hard copy packets where the parents actually physically come to the school site to pick up the packets, you should really not be pushing anything that needs to be copied.
No, and that teacher didn't say it had to be copied. I'm just saying my teacher, my sister is a former teacher, and she likes to have a hard copy to check off what they've done, just for her own sense of, like, feeling normal. But it was frustrating to her that she wasn't able to print it.
So Kristin, I have a question. For kindergarten, I've created several lessons that do need to be printed, and we're going to give them packets. But if they're using their own home adult computer, can the parent print off the home computer?
Yes.
Okay, so just the Chromebook is not available.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, and that's how my sister worked around it. Like, she was able to log off herself and then log on as him, but it's super time consuming. So parents have to know it can't be done on the kids' phones.
Totally. So again, whatever assignments that you want to push out, just remember you have to keep that in mind. So as I go through and I'm clicking add, I'm going to go to my Google Drive. I'm going to find the assignment that I want. I'm going to do this test assignment, and I'm just going to click add. Now, remember that when you add your assignment, you have this option over here where it says students can view file. If you click on that drop-down menu, you actually have 3 options. Students can view file basically means that all your students are in on the very same document, and all they can do is look at it. They can't edit, they can't comment, they can't do anything. Students can edit file means, first of all, I would never use this. This one's a nightmare. Basically what that means that all your students are in the doc all at the same time, and everybody has editing rights free for all. It is a management nightmare. So I would highly suggest you not using this. One that you would use, or at least I, 99% of the time, is make a copy for each student. So I click on make a copy for each student, and basically what that means is that it's going to make a digital copy and send it out to every single student, and every student gets their own digital copy. So you want to make sure that you put on there, make a copy for every student so that they can have that as well. The other nice thing with assignments is that you don't have to put in just one assignment. You can go in and add more than one assignment. I can go in and add a slideshow if I wanted to. Again, I can, well, if it was play pause it, I could go in, and once I have everything play pause it, I can post in a video as well. So you can have more than one assignment or more than one thing here for your students.
If you put them all in one place like that, can they submit them each individually, like from that one spot?
Good question. I don't know what if it submits. Let me try it. I don't know about that piece, if you can or cannot. I'll just do this one. I'll play around with it and see it, but I don't know if you can do it individually. I know you can submit, but I think it submits all and not one at a time, but I will test that out.
What is Play Pause It?
Play Pause It is a program that we have purchased as a district. You will find it in Clever. Let me find where my Clever is. And basically what it is, it's a program that takes takes YouTube videos and puts it into their system, and then allows you to push those videos out to your parents or to your students. Why do I not see Play Pause It on here? I'm gonna have to find Play Pause It. I will send you links for Play Pause It.
In the upper right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner.
The dog. Is that it?
Oh,
The dog.
Oh,
duh. It's been a long day. Duh, I'm not used to it. Anyways, it allows you, they're called bulbs, but it allows you to take any type of YouTube videos. You can add questions to the videos. You don't have to add questions to the videos, but it allows you to take that YouTube video, change a different link, and then push it out to your students so that they can watch the video on their Chromebooks.
so you could do that with, say, Go Noodle or anything then?
Absolutely.
Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. From here, so these are all my assignments. I made a copy for everybody. I can go in and still delete if I wanted to. Let's say I don't want them to have access to that. I can still go and delete. What I want to show you is this side over here on the right-hand side. So if you have more, if you're a middle school teacher and have more than one class that you want to push this assignment out to, or if you're a co-teacher, kindergarten teachers, and you want to push this assignment to all of your classes, you can push out one assignment to as many classes as you want. To do that, what you're going to do is click on this drop-down menu, and you can find the classes and literally click every single class you want to push that assignment out to. So you can choose more than one. For now, I'm just going to do one. Because the other feature you can do with Google Classroom is I've only got one class selected, my 1920 class. But the other thing you can do, and this is what I really love about Google Classroom, is that you can differentiate instruction within Google Classroom. So I chose one class, and let's say you have an enrichment assignment that you want to give to some students and another assignment that you want to give to other students. You can do that by clicking all students, and you can go in and say, well, this enrichment assignment needs to only go to Asia, Chromebook, and Mark. Those are the only people who get those assignments. So you can go in and pick and choose which students get the assignment. For now, I'm just going to do all. You can make your assignment worth how many points you want, 10 points. You can do ungraded, whatever you want, 100 points, 500 points, whatever it is. You can add your points, your point value. Due date, you can choose a due date, pick a future due date and say, hey, I want this assignment to be due on the 17th of April. If you are want a specific time saying, hey, this assignment is due by 3 o'clock, you can choose a specific time that you want to have that assignment turned in by. Topic. Now this is where you're going to go and organize your assignments based upon your topics. And remember earlier we talked about making topics based upon the week. So I have week of April 4th, week of April 13th, so on. So you can choose, here's my assignment. I'm going to make this part of my week of May 5th. This is for the week of May 5th. So I can just click on May 5th and that will automatically put this assignment into that topic. You can attach your rubric. If you wanted to add a rubric, you can either create one. If you already have a pre-designated rubric, you can add that, or you can import your rubric from Google Sheets. Originality Reports. Let me just tell you about this real quickly. Originality Reports is basically Google's version of turnitin.com, but you only have one-time use for that. It's not one time per assignment, it's one time per class. So if you use it once, it's gone. But just so you know that you do have that one-time ability to have originality reports. And then finally, yep, go ahead.
It's Alicia. Hey. So I don't know if this is the right time or not, but I was trying to build a rubric and I was confused by the levels. So can you help me with that?
Sure. Question like, what do you mean? So give me more information.
So when I was going in to build a rubric, it was giving me all these different levels to it.
Did you create rubric?
I did.
Okay.
So see all of these down here where you can add different levels and things? That part was confusing to me. Can you talk to me about that a little bit?
So basically this is your 1 through 4 scale. what you're going to want to do is it's going to be 1, 2, and then you can keep adding your scale so that you can make the rubric so that the students can see what you're going to be grading it on. You can have it beginning whatever you want to do, title them. Honestly, if you are making rubrics, I would make your rubrics to be just like what we use as a district, the 1 through 4, or the CASP, and use the exact same verbiage for all of these things. And then once you set that up, you're going to add your criteria for this so that you can say, okay, this is what a 1 is and this is what it looks like. So your students, again, as they go through and create the assignment, they'll be able to see how you're grading via the rubric.
Okay, got it.
Make sense?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then don't forget, my friends, to save your rubric. And honestly, what I would do is I would create a rubric, a generic one, if you want to use it. And then especially for you, Alicia, for writing, is you can create a few different rubrics for your writing class and just keep reusing them. The last piece when it comes to assigning, because our time here is almost done as well. So I can click on assign and it will immediately assign this to my students, but I also have the drop down menu here. I can assign it immediately, or I can schedule it and say, I want this assignment to be posted on Monday the 13th. Since my due date is Friday the April 17th, maybe I want this assignment to be posted on the 13th. I can add my time and I can schedule this assignment to be posted on that date. And if I go down to May 5th, here's my assignment. And as you can see, it says it's scheduled for April 13th at 9 o'clock to be posted. Now, real quickly, I want to show you what it looks like from a student perspective. I'm going to refresh real quick so I can get all my assignments in here. So I just want to show you so that you can see what it looks like from a student perspective. Here's my class. I'm in as my Chromebook as a student, and I'm going into my classroom. One thing I would do is I would talk to your students about really not staying on stream. You want your students to spend most of their time in classwork. And of course, I don't have the create button. It's gone. I have my week testing, but you notice I do not have May 4th on here, or whatever my May date is, because those are scheduled to go out. So students cannot see those yet because they're still scheduled to go out. But as a student, I can go in and I can see my work that was posted. I can view my assignment. I can send a private chat to my teacher. Over here where it says 2 private comments, this is a private comment between you and your student alone. Nobody else will see this. So as a student, I can make private comments to my teacher. I can open up my assignment here, and I can do my assignment if my keyboard was functioning. I can work on my assignment, do it all, and then it looks like I already submitted this assignment, sorry. What it will normally say, and this is going in, is this is what it will look like. Once the student has done their assignment, they're gonna see where it says mark as done. The students need to go in and click on that mark as done, so that way that's them submitting their work. So this is pretty much what it looks like from the student perspective, all through here. Any questions with that? Let me go in real quick and show back to the—
Can students turn in work?
Oh, I wanted to try that out.
To me, Google Classroom, if I haven't created it as an assignment.
Can you cut out on a little bit there? Can you repeat that question?
Can a student turn work into me if I have not created it as an assignment? Like, could they submit a paper they wrote to me without it being an assignment, or submit a photo to me, or anything like that in Google Classroom?
I don't think so. I think it has to be done as an assignment for them to upload anything. Coaches or anybody else on the thing know the answer to that?
That's correct. It's the assignment is the tool that you want to use if you want to get any feedback from students other than a question. But I would use assignment if you're asking for anything to get back from the student for grading.
Okay, thank you.
On an assignment, they can attach something to it that you haven't already pushed out to them, but you have to have a spot for them to attach that.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
Honestly, if you want your students to attach things, I would have my kids attaching things all the time, especially during remote learning. I would personally use Google Forms. Within Google Forms, you can add a question where they upload a video, a picture, or whatever of themselves doing whatever. So for example, let's say one of your assignments is a PE assignment, and your assignment is do 20 jumping jacks, and they have to videotape themselves doing 20 jumping jacks and then upload that video to you so that you can see that they're getting in their PE. I would do that all through Google Forms, because through Google Forms, students, you can have a question where they can upload anything that you want them to upload. So little things there.
Kristin, can I ask a question before we have to sign off?
Absolutely, friend.
Sorry. So we just have that new book that we adopted, McGraw-Hill. And do I have to, because there's a part where you can assign it. Does it go directly into Google Classroom? Or do I have to download the PDFs into my drive and then upload them into Classroom?
You know what? I honestly don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. Let me research that and get back to you on that.
Okay.
That's actually a really great question.
Because those that we have adopted it, they have videos, they have DBQs, they have primary sources, and it would be sad to have to create the will and not use those.
Right.
But it does have a little thing in the McGraw-Hill where you can push assign. And I'm pretty sure Tiffany said it went to Google Classroom.
Awesome.
But I'm not sure.
I will look into that and then get back to you on that, because I don't know the curriculum off the top of my head. Absolutely. It would make sense. It would absolutely make sense for that to happen that way. So awesome. Alrighty, guys, it's 3:01. If you want to go, you are free to go. By the way, I am recording this, so I will be emailing this out. So if you want to go, feel free. Thank you all for coming. If you want to stay and ask a few more questions, feel free. Again, I did not get to all the questions on the chat, but I'll go through those and email you the answer. Thank you guys for all coming. Tomorrow we are doing Screencastify. I would highly, highly, highly suggest you look into Screencastify. Between Google Classroom and Screencastify, those are the two main apps, programs, websites, whatever to be using that will help you out tremendously. So if you're interested, go to Google Classroom. What?
In like 3 minutes, I watched a video on Screencastify, and 2 minutes later, I'd made a video. It has an automatic link. You click link to Google Classroom, boom, done.
It's seriously one of the best tools and one of the easiest tools there is out there. So I would highly suggest you going. So if you want to stay and ask and talk and chat and continue this conversation, I am here. But if I see some of your guys' faces like, whoa, information overload. I get it. No worries. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristin, can I ask a question about Kayla's question? With that little one that you had scheduled, can you show us what it looks like from a kid's perspective? Can they turn in each one of those individually?
That's what
I just wanted to see
that I just did
before
today.
you cut out. Yes.
Got it. I was actually trying that, but then I saw the time, so I wanted to make sure that I respected everybody's time.
No, thank you.
Go back in. So what I did as the teacher, here's my May 5th assignment that I made today. I originally scheduled it, but then I automatically posted it right now so I could see what it looks like from a student perspective. So here's my 2 student assignments. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to see if I can turn in one thing at a time or if it does it all. So I'm going to go back into my, whoa, wow, that was wild. Sorry. I guess I hit it way too many times. I'm going to go back into my week of May 5th, get into my assignment, view assignment. Here are all my assignments. So I'm only going to do this one. Oops, lost my mouse. Whoops. All right, here we go. There we go. Now, let's see if I can turn just that in. It looks like it's going to make me turn in both. I was trying to see if I can click on one to only turn in one.
Kristin, you have to delete up there where it says turn in the top right. You have to delete the one you don't want to turn in.
Thank you, Michelle.
So if you want to turn in both, then you click the purple. If you only want to turn in one of those 2, you delete the other one and then you can turn it in.
Okay, so clarity. So because I did my assignment in this one and I don't want to turn this in, I only want to turn this one in, I can click out of that and then just turn in that one. Will I want to see if I still have access to the other. Yep, I do. There's the other. Perfect. So there, oh, no, this is the one I turned in. Oh, unsubmit. I'm trying to see if I can get where I can go to have access to the assignment that I did not turn in. Oh, there it is.
Kristin?
I see it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you, Michelle. That's exactly it. So did we all see how to do that? You can do one kid or one assignment at a time. Let me go to view assignment. And remember how there were 2 assignments over here? Click out of the one that you don't want to turn in. Thank you, Michelle. That was perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Is there a way to make a fake kid so you can see from the kid side? I know you're doing that, but can I do that in my classroom so I can practice like submitting stuff and?
Honestly,
I just sign in as one of my students.
That's how I would normally do it. This is the fake account that we have here is honestly our, whenever we get new Chromebooks, this is the account we use to register our Chromebooks. So I just threw it in as Google Classroom. No, there's not. You can, like Michelle said, just log in as one of your students to test it out.
But then if you submit something as one of your students just to see how it goes, like I'm so unfamiliar with it teaching 1st grade, I don't even know what it looks like to submit. So then how do I unsubmit it so they can actually submit it when it's their turn?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Really, honestly, to unsubmit, you just go back to, here, I'll show it to you so you can see it. I'm going to go back to classwork.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to view assignment.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to click on submit and submit. Correct.
Okay. But that's, okay, so I guess I would have to do that in the middle of the night when kids aren't on it. You know what I mean? Like, what if a kid wants to do it and then I'm happen to be messing around with it at the same time? So I guess we have to figure it out, huh?
Right.
Kristin, I have a question.
Yeah, real quickly, it's not real smooth like that right now. Sorry. Go ahead, ask your question.
So would it be possible for the district to put a test student in each of our classrooms?
I can't do that because our students are, your Google Classrooms are tied to Powerschool, which is tied to CalPads. Sorry.
Okay.
So
yes.
all of our students have to be tied to CalPads. And so every single one of your students are in there because of CalPads. So no, we can't do that because it then sees them as real students.
Okay.
Kristin, I have a question. Yep. On an assignment that's been posted in Classroom, I haven't found a way to get around it with searching the answer. If I don't want to delete the assignment because I still want it to exist, but I don't want it shown anymore and there's no way to archive it. Is there a workaround?
Yeah, you can actually go in and edit your assignments. Let me go back in as a teacher. Let me go back to my class. So, whoops. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm gonna minimize my screen a little bit. All right, so you can go in and edit any of your assignments any single time you want, even the scheduled ones. All you need to do basically is hover over the assignment and go to the 3 dots and then click on edit. And then literally you can go in, you can schedule it, you can change the topic, you can edit and do anything you need to.
Right, but what my question is I don't want it to display anymore, like right there on that screen.
I see.
And you either delete it or it's shown. So
can you save it as a draft?
No, that's just it. There's no option to save it as a draft
once you push it out, it's no longer a draft, it's an assignment.
Exactly.
And you cannot hide it once it's out there.
Okay.
The only thing you can do is delete it, but you can't hide it.
And there was no way to archive it, and
not individual assignments. Oh, you can only archive classes, but not individual assignments.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I got one.
Awesome.
So I am, of course, am well versed in what the MOU says. Although I want to make a note, I did not craft that MOU.
Me neither.
I have grave concerns about me following the MOU to the letter of the words, because it would require me to make 3 separate assignment or some form of graded posts 5 days a week. So that's 15 posts, plus at least 1 video,